Welcome to today's show. Today we are joined with Mike D from waxdao. Well, I don't know how we should start to introduce you. Let's let you dig into this. Welcome to this show today, Mike. How are you doing?
I'm doing great, man. Thank you for having me on.
Yeah, I'm excited. I invited you. Now it's probably 2 months ago. First time I reached out. Hey, would you wanna join? Because one of the guys in the community said, hey. You should take a look at this waxdao, and I'm like, okay, cool, I will invite him and I learn more and everyone else learn as well. So that's awesome. And I don't know where to start. I think we start with what is waxdao? Let's start there.
Yeah, it's so much at this point. It's hard to answer in one question. I guess my kind of tagline that I use on the website is that we build tools for creators on Wax. But we also have now evolved into like a market where there's drops and blends, and it's tools for creators and kind of for end users on the Wax blockchain right now.
You're listening to Any Observation, the best NFT, crypto, and gaming podcast ever. With your host, Anders Bjork.
Yeah, so
go ahead.
Why do you feel like we need that? Might be obvious for some, but for you.
Yeah, I think Wax has so much potential, and I don't know why it's like not really discovered yet. It has a lot of advantages that other chains don't have. I think it might just be because there's not a ton of money here yet, so we haven't attracted like all that talent. But basically, I guess my kind of first idea was like a few months ago when I was starting to learn how to code on Wax. The first thing that I really wanted to do that I noticed was kind of a hole in the ecosystem was that pretty much nobody could do pre-minted packs unless you had like a lot of money to stake on NFT there. And that's what I wanted to learn. And I learned that, and right as I was about to release that, NFT Hive did theirs. So I just decided to hold off and then just keep building. And the same way that I saw that hole with pre-minted packs, I see that with like so many things on Wax. We're lacking a lot of tools, so I just decided to build them, I guess, is long story short.
Yeah, that's cool. And you said that a lot of people have not discovered Wax, but Wax has a lot of advantages. What type of advantage? Like a new person sees this the first time, they don't really know what Wax is. They might have seen it, they might have seen one of my other videos, or they know everything. But what is the big advantage for Wax in your opinion?
Lightning fast transactions, high throughput, which would mean it's very scalable. You don't have to deal with congestion like you do on networks like Ethereum. I know we haven't maybe been tested on like such a large scale yet, but we have actually been pretty high up for a while in terms of the amounts of transactions that we do per day. And yeah, I guess those would be the main ones really, but we also have the atomic asset standard, which is a standard for NFTs. For those people, I'm sure all your viewers know what it is, but it's a very, very good, well-structured way to handle NFTs that's kind of adopted like blockchain-wide and makes things very easy, and it's very customizable, so it's kind of become like the main NFT chain.
Yeah, and depending on how you view activity on a blockchain, Wax has been the most used blockchain on amount of actions for a very long time, which is very nice to see. There's a lot of, especially last year, a lot of games came to Wax, and a lot of NFT projects, and big brand names, small brand names, small teams releasing things, big teams releasing things. It's very exciting to be here. And for me, like, Wax is a big playground. It's something you go and explore, and there's tons of things to do. And one of those things you can do is go and start to build things yourself. Another one is to go and explore it. And like, so you feel like, okay, we are missing a lot of these tools on the Wax blockchain, and you feel like you can contribute with that. What's your background? How did you find Wax and crypto and so forth?
Yeah, I got into crypto in like 2014 maybe, or something like that. I'm not like a millionaire or anything. I was at one point, but you know, made some unwise decisions during the bear market, I guess. But yeah, I was just like looking for a way to sell something that I had in my closet, and I just kept hearing about Bitcoin And then when I was trying to like sell some random thing I had, someone offered me Bitcoin, and I was like, let me finally look into this thing. And then it just kind of all clicked for me. So I just fell in love with it ever since, and I've been in the space for a while. As far as wax goes, my friend told me, well, I had heard about it in 2017, but never really looked into it because I'm not really a gamer or anything. And that's what it was kind of being sold as back then. Yeah. Well, I guess it still is now. But anyway, yeah, like a year ago, my friend had told me right around the time when, what was it, NBA Top Shot and Colonize Mars Mission 1 drop were going on. He had told me about wax. He sent me an NFT. And then I got into it. And like you said, it's a great place to explore. It's just like the market was down at the time. And I was able to test out so many different things, even though I didn't really have money. I could do everything. So it was like awesome to be able to engage without spending $50 to $100 for a transaction.
Yeah, and I mean, it's been crazy. Now I came to Wax for the gaming aspect. I came and was very attracted by that because I'm a long-term gamer. I'm from Sweden. I love DreamHack. I love all these big gaming events that you can go to. So that's what attracted me for Wax. So I got attracted by the thing that you felt that were not for you. That's so we were opposites there, but we're still in the same area now. And so was MLB the first one you got into, or did you go into Colonize Mars, or and you said that you had opportunity to explore a lot of them. So what did you explore more?
I actually didn't get into the MLB or NBA, whatever it was. My friend had sent me I think some like Yankees card because I'm from New York or whatever. But yeah, I got into Colonize Mars Mission 1. That was my first drop. And ironically, without doing any research, that's the best I've ever done. Everything after that I got into on Wax was a total disaster. I don't know. I'm not going to throw shade at people and name names, but like Void Elementals, a couple others. So I got wrecked pretty hard. And then eventually I kind of just was like, tired of it. I went and did my thing in real life for a little bit, and I came back fresh and just started building. I just decided that's the way to go. Yeah,
and I agree with you there. And being burnt sucks, and sometimes it's actually good to just go and throw money if you can into something and see what happens. And I'm the kind of person, I love to open packs. I think it's very exciting, and that's what, like, I didn't understand NFTs or what's the fun with it. It's just collectibles. I don't like to collect things, is what I keep telling myself and everyone else. Yet here I am with thousands of NFTs and love to open packs. Is the pack opening something that you enjoy as well, or what do you see there?
That's what got me in trouble. That's what got me in trouble when I got into it, because I was buying these packs from all these different things, and it's just such a thrill. It's gambling. It's like, you know, you're buying these packs, you rip them open, like, I want to score the big one, and then you just keep ripping and ripping. And I was like, I'm only going to open one or two, and the next thing you know, you just spent 10,000 wax, and you have like all these empty packs in front of you.
Yep.
You know, didn't get anything good. It was usually my experience.
Yeah, but it is so fun and it's so addicting, as you say, and it is somewhat of a gamble, I guess, because you hope that you get something good, and that but it's a little bit different as well. It's usually part of something else. But for me, like the thing that got me hooked was the Garbage Pail Kids release that was in, I don't know, 2018, 2019. I don't remember when it was. 2019-ish, probably 2020. I don't know. Time goes fast. But what's your favorite packs to open so far?
That's a tough one, man. Not many of them have went well for me. I'm trying to think. You know, it really sucks what happened with Void, because I liked those so much with those elementals. Like, I had fun opening those packs, looking back at it, even though it turned out to be whatever it turned out to be. Yeah, after that whole period, I got burned a few times. I kind of just stopped opening packs, so I don't think I really have many great experiences to speak on as far as that goes. Oh, yeah, Colonize Mars would have to be my favorite, definitely. I almost got an ownership card too when I on the Mission 1 drop. My first pack or crate or whatever it was, I got 2 Dark Matters that matched, and then I got the next one in like the next pack, but they were already gone by the time I clicked it.
Yeah, they went fast. I did not get them either. Yeah. Like, have you tried to open any of the Funko packs? They are a little bit pricey, but they are so much fun.
I haven't. To be honest, lately I've been in like I get in this bubble where I just work, I get tunnel vision, and I don't pay attention to anything. Like I have no idea what's going on in the world right now. I'm sure there's probably some big like scandal or I don't know about any of it. I could barely tell you who the president is right now. You know?
Yeah, so, I'm similar there. Okay, so let's get back into what you're actually building. So waxdao, you're building tools for everyone. What's the DAO part of the waxdao?
Yeah, I built anybody can create their own DAO on the Wax blockchain, and I also made a DAO for us using that tool for waxdao. I would say maybe it wasn't the greatest choice of names looking back, even though I did build like a DAO tool. It's kind of being overshadowed by everything else right now, and I haven't been giving it much love because I've been so focused on the other products. And to be quite honest, we don't even really use our DAO so much at this point. I think we voted on like one thing, and I don't know. I was looking up names. I saw waxdao.io was available when I was like Googling stuff, and I was like, this seems like a good name to get. And then I just kind of rolled with it.
But building something where people can create DAOs, why did you start there? What value did you find in that?
I guess I just kind of looked around at all the different, like, my brain just goes all day long with like ideas, and I was just like writing down. There's so much stuff on my wall of like things I want to do. The DAOs were just like one of the first ones that I thought of, and that hadn't really been done yet on Wax. So I decided to go with that. And I also just think it's really cool and interesting because it's a problem that hasn't really, I wouldn't say it hasn't been solved, but it kind of hasn't been solved. Like, I built auto executing transactions into it where there's like a treasury of DAO funds, and based on whether the vote gets passed or not, the funds would automatically transfer to some address like after that vote goes through. And I have like other ideas of things I want to make like auto executing. I just think the whole concept is so cool of like governance and being able to integrate NFTs into it, so it's not just a token that you can vote with. And I don't know, it's fascinating to me.
So if anyone else wanted to create a DAO and wanted to do that for your tool, for what project do you see a DAO can be useful?
Well, I would say any community really where there's like maybe that's the issue, because then we get into the whole question about like legal aspects and legal structures and what can actually be enforced and what can't be enforced. So yeah, I mean, I want to say there's a lot of projects that could benefit, but at the end of the day, it's like the real use case is stuff that can happen automatically. Otherwise, like, who's going to enforce it? So I would say probably the ideal use case would be like a community where there's some, pool of assets or asset that needs to be managed and isn't allowed to be like transferred by any one individual person. And anything else that you could really integrate directly into blockchain code, which I'm still coming up with ideas for. But
do you see that automated transfer of payments of things is something that could be abused by people acquiring the DAO token and funneling those funds to themselves? And if it's all automated, you might not have time to react and things like that.
Yeah, absolutely. That's it's kind of like the same concept as really, I don't know, like a 51% attack on Bitcoin. I think the issue is like you need to get those tokens distributed far enough and wide enough before you create a DAO. And then at that point, if people sell their stuff to a malicious person, then it's like you didn't really value the community enough as it is. So why do you deserve the assets, I guess? Like,
do you build in any kind of safety mechanism for things like that in any way?
Like some kind of override or something like that, where there could be like a...
It'd probably be done in many ways. I'm just broad, like trying to figure it out?
Yeah, I would say it's in its early stages right now of like I mean, the whole project is in its early stages. There's a lot of ideas I have. I don't know. I'm definitely like open to ideas about it, but I would say like auto executing is a good thing for the most part. But there are also like rules that you can set up for the DAOs, where like only certain people can propose things and stuff like that. So yeah, maybe some kind of like a rebuttal vote type of system or something would be cool. Or like if something has to be approved twice. I don't know. I'm trying to brainstorm on that myself. But it's a good question.
Yeah, I think it's something that's good to think about before it's required. I mean, automating stuff is really good, and making a functioning DAO with the minimal amount of oversight is probably ideal. But the question is, what is the minimal amount of oversight that is a viable option to make the proposals actually mean something? And I mean, in one sense, the entire Wax governance model is a DAO, because we have these decentralized teams running the hardware and the nodes that run the Wax blockchain. And if a system contract needs to be upgraded, all of them need to do their MSIG to approve that. So we are 21 active producers, and we need 15 of them to approve an upgrade for it to pass. So in that sense, it is a functioning advanced DAO. The same with EOS and Telos and Proton and those projects. And actually, one of the guilds on Wax and EOS DAC is also run as a DAO. So they are a DAO themselves, and they operate the guilds, blockchain producers for different blockchains, which is rather cool.
That's very cool, yeah. And it's interesting how different projects go about the legal structure of it and stuff, because I think that's a big part that actually matters. Because this is a question that comes up to me sometimes, is like, how do we know you're going to follow through? And it's a valid question. How do you know I'm going to follow through? Like, if you say that if you vote that I have to work for the rest of my life for free, you know what I mean? I'm not going to do it. So how do you hold people accountable? What kind of contracts need to be like legally enforceable? These are all things that need to be thought of. And I think over time will hopefully develop further.
Yeah. So in your DAO tool right now, I guess since you say it's an early stages and beta version or something like that, it sounds like it can be used, but it's an early stage and you're focusing your attention on other tools. If anyone wanna say, I wanna try this, what kind of tools do they have available from the start?
Right. Are you talking about the DAOs now, or waxdao as a whole?
Yeah, waxdao as a whole, your tool.
All right, we've got a market where people can create drops for their own token. We have a token creator where you can launch your own Wax token right on the website, deploy a contract to your account and everything. We've got super blends where you can do all kinds of complex stuff, where you can like require a bunch of different ingredients and send back a bunch of different things. NFT farms where you pretty much make your own art planet kind of for your collection. Staking pools where you can create tokens, single-sided staking for a token, or an LP farm or whatever. There's a lot going on here right now, and I kind of want to build in a secondary at some point too, but right now I'm focused on just cleaning up the UI and kind of making things more efficient, and because it's a bit of a mess.
Yeah. So you have nothing to do. That's good. That was sarcasm for anyone that didn't get that. So all of these tools, let's try to break them down. The Wax token creator, let's start there. So hey, you have a video on this on your YouTube channel if anyone wanna find out, and it will be linked below if they wanna go there. You have tutorials on all these tools. I guess you put one out actually today when we record this. It's a few hours ago you put out a video. And to create a token on any blockchain, on Wax, what do a user need to do to do that on your website?
Yeah, that's the video that I just launched today. It was it's a version 2 of the token creator because I just redid the UI and stuff. Basically, you just need to have Anchor Wallet. You need to pay for it, which is anywhere from 109 to 250 wax just to use it, which depends on what option you choose.
Is pay for it something that goes to you as a fee, or what do you pay for?
Yeah, it goes to me as a fee. I also made the contract open source. It's basically this standard contract. I just added a burn function to it. For anybody who doesn't want to pay for it and has the technical skills, they're more than welcome to go on GitHub. I can link it under the video or whatever. But it's open source and free. So, but if you want to use the service on the website that I built, it's pretty much like $10. And then you just need to cover the RAM and the CPU and stuff, and you deploy a contract to your account with Anchor Wallet. And then you're ready to create a token. It's pretty simple.
How much RAM do you need today to create a token on Wax?
It's about 500,000 bytes not for a token, but for the contract itself, which is it usually fluctuates somewhere around 400 wax.
Yeah, so not too bad. And so what they need to do is they have Anchor Wallet. They have an account where they manage the private key, so they have full control of what they can do. And on that account, they can upload this contract, which you help with your web service.
Exactly. Yeah, you log in, you deploy a contract to your account with Anchor Wallet. You have to have like a special setting enabled in Anchor to allow it, because they'll block contract transactions by default for protection. And once you enable that, you can deploy it, and then you're able to create tokens.
Yeah. So. Yeah, that's cool, because people can try that themselves, and if they have some kind of project where they need a token and perhaps they don't really know how to do it, it's a good useful tool. You don't have to be able to read C++, I guess, to do this, so that's good.
Yeah, that's the big selling point. It's basically no coding involved. Launch your own token in 5 minutes, something like that. I also I have a testnet version too that I put up today, so if anyone wants to test it out for free, they can do it on the testnet.
Okay, so and that's also on your website and everything. Because on your website, if you go to waxdao.io, you go and the first thing you see is that you have an NFT market and tools on Wax. You see one of your profile pictures, NFTs that you made 10,000 of different ones. So if I wanna find how to make a DAO, or I wanna create a token, do I do that from the top menu? I guess I see tokens, like I see staking.
Yeah, so I just redid the UI recently. I need to add something for the DAOs because it's kind of missing on the front page right now. But I do have a tutorial for that on my YouTube channel of like how to create it. And there's also a link. It's just waxdao.io/create-DAO. But I'll put that in like the footer or something. I got to get it up there. I'm in the middle of a UI upgrade. It looks so much different than it did. I'm sure you saw it before. It looked pretty bad.
Well, yeah, UI is something that you always need to work on. So that's that's something. It's fast at least, and that's very important.
Yeah, and it'll get faster too because I'm making it more efficient now. It's just when I first started building it, so not that I like didn't know what I was doing, but I didn't really fully understand like React as well as I do now, which is what it's built in. So I'm doing a lot of cleaning up and optimizing at this point.
Yeah,
so it should get.
You put up a long video, 1 hour, where you go through some of the coding to create 10,000 NFTs on the Wax blockchain. Is that something that you have as a tool as well, or is that something that you just made for people to figure out how to do it?
Yeah, that's something I was just kind of fooling around. That's just how I made my NFTs. I would probably do it differently now. I did that in PHP, which is like a joke. I mean, it still works. It's still cool, but I would probably, if I was going to build a tool, I would definitely do it in React. It would be a lot better. That's a good idea too. But I think like Chain Champs has the PFP generator.
Yeah.
So. Yeah,
they do. But I always think that it's good to have options, and a new version of something would always create some kind of if it's a good and adopted, then it creates a pressure on the other part, and they go and adopt and improve, and then that's a that's a good route to go, in my opinion, to see multiple sides. I mean, when we started on Wax, we didn't have atomic assets. We had simple assets. And they thought, hey, we can do this better. And then the simple assets guys didn't think that their solution was better, but atomic asset is the main standard used by everyone now. And it's built on the simple assets standard, not as in using their code, but using what they created as ideas, and then they continued forward with it. Like simple assets has this immutable data types, which you can have on atomic assets, which is one of the really nice aspects. But they thought that using templates and schemas is gonna make everything more efficient, which it is when you understand what that actually means. That's cool. And then we didn't, like, when the Wax blockchain launched on the mainnet, we didn't really have any good NFT marketplaces. We had Simple Market, an old version which is not as good as it is now, and Simple Market is not really used anymore because it's only simple assets. It's just for color blocks and some other tools, and for all Garbage Pail Kids and William Shatner NFTs and stuff like that. And then moving forward, we have like the NFT Hive. They had a Waxplorer was their, I think Waxplorer was their name of their marketplace first, and then they changed to NFT Hive. And we see them growing, and we see everyone is learning and growing together. So I think it's good, even if there is a tool and you think you can do it better and tweak it some way. I think it adds value regardless if there is one already. Like you said that the pack system that you wanted to release, you saw NFT Hive did it and you didn't release it. What's the purpose? Like, what's the idea there, or why didn't you also release it and so forth?
Yeah, so first of all, I definitely agree with you 100% that it's basically capitalism. You know, it's people building things to compete with each other. It forces everyone to be better, and at the end of the day, it results in the end user getting a better product overall. So it's good for everyone. I did actually release the Pack Creator recently, like a few weeks ago, maybe. It's just like when I was doing it, when I was building it, was like in my opinion, it was like the thing that needed to happen. It was the time to do it, like right then and there. Yeah. And then once they did it, I was like, it's not that I'm not going to release it at all, but I'd rather just wait. Like, I don't want to steal their limelight right now. You know, they just had released it and announced it, so I didn't want to come out the next day and be like, oh, by the way, I released pre-minted packs too. I don't know. I felt like it should wait like a month after that or something. So I focused on other stuff, but I actually do have a Pack Creator now.
And did you code everything yourself? The contracts, the UI, everything?
Everything, yeah, 100%. Everything is all me. It's literally just me. I don't have any team or anything.
So. And how do you, like, doing packs? One of the bigger problems to solve is to do the randomizations of what you get in a pack good enough for it to feel like a good system. I mean, that math sounds basic. Perhaps say you have this % chance of getting these type of NFTs and everything, but it's actually pretty hard to get that right, to get a good flow. And how was that process for you?
Yeah, it's definitely not easy to do, especially with just the way that things are set up on what, I mean, you basically have no choice but to use the public RNG, which is probably a good thing, or design your own system, which is actually what I did. And it's not easy to do if you're going to go that route, to make it actually work well with only the tools that are available, because they remove most of the libraries, like the options for SRAND or whatever it's called in C++, where you can take like a seed and I do some stuff with the transaction, generating a transaction ID, and then doing some manipulation of that to generate some kind of end result number, and that's kind of how I'm going about it right now. It definitely wasn't easy, and it can always be improved. Like, I find myself looking over that part of the code here and there, thinking about how I can make it better, and I definitely don't think I'm going to stick with how it is now, like, forever. But I didn't want to be dependent on the RNG. I don't know. I don't like it having to do that.
So is your on-chain, your RNG logic on-chain or off-chain?
It's inside the contract. Like everything gets generated in the contract.
Yeah, cool. And yeah, so like you're building all of these things on Wax. You felt like, hey, I need to focus on building. What did you do before you got here? What's your background?
Yeah, as far as coding goes, like I built little projects over the years. Just like whenever I had an idea, I would kind of look up how to do it, and I'd learn some stuff here and there. But I wasn't like a pro coder or anything like that. As far as other stuff, basically, I got into crypto like a while back. Like I worked for my family my whole life when I was younger, and then once I was done with that, I kind of, yeah, whatever. I don't know. I was doing things on the streets and stuff like that. I wasn't exactly living the best life when I was younger, and then I came across like Bitcoin and all that stuff. I ended up making a lot of money in 2017, so I guess I was like semi-retired for a couple of years, type of thing, just like trading, living off my coins and doing some day trading and stuff. And then I got hungry, and I was like, I gotta figure something out. So I got got into building my own stuff, I guess.
Yeah, that's good. And yeah, what's the best part about building things?
Well, for me, there's a couple things. Just first of all, not having to answer to people, which is just not for me. And also, like, even though right now I'm not really doing that well, like in terms of finances and stuff, I know I'm on the right track, and I already did well in 2017, so I know what it feels like, and especially coming from where I came from, which is like rock bottom. It's like it's really not many more satisfying feelings in life than like going from nothing to building something like amazing on your own, and like knowing that you did that. For me, that's like what I love the most about it. So the satisfaction of knowing that I like took my own brain and made just something great, I guess.
So is that the goal for you, to create this waxdao domain into something big which has a lot of tools for users, or is it to be an outlet for learning more about programming and building contracts and all those things?
I think it's both. I kind of think it should always be both. It should be about the business, but it should also be about yourself. There should be an overlap, because that's how you stay passionate, and that's how you make it better. If there's no like satisfying a hunger in what you're doing, then it's like you're just going to get tired of it, and that's going to result in the product not being as good, and people will be able to see that. So I would say both for sure.
And for anyone that feel like, hey, I also want to learn this and I want to get into it, what type of resources have you been using to learn to build smart contracts and tools for websites and things?
So for Wax specifically, for the smart contracts, there's, and I don't mean to sound like one of those gatekeeper dick guys that are like, go read the docs, but the EOS.io, or Antelope now, I guess, documentation was very helpful for me. The Wax, there's a developer channel in the Wax Discord that was very helpful. That's where I got started, and that's where I asked my questions when I was like a total noob and didn't know what I was doing. As far as like aside from that, I mean, like really, like a lot of YouTube and just looking things. I don't want to sound like a dick, because I know people say this stuff. Like at the end of the day, it's like a thing that you're like born with it or you're not. If you want to learn this stuff, man, you will figure it out. Like if there's something else completely different besides programming that I wanted to do tomorrow that right now I have no clue about, I know I'll figure it out because I'll want to. And if you want to, you go down the rabbit hole, you ask the right questions, you look stuff up. And that leads to new questions being asked that you didn't even know you could ask a day ago. And you'll just keep going down that rabbit hole. If you really want to learn, just do it. You will. Like, that's pretty much what it comes down to.
And something that I'm curious about is that I sometimes hear new teams or new projects, or I hear established people saying that being a developer trying to build something on Wax are met in an unwelcoming way. Is that your experience, or did you feel like, hey, you had help getting your questions answered or directed towards more information, or how was your experience?
I'd say a little bit of both. it depends, I guess, really what they're referring to. Like as far as people sharing knowledge, that developer Discord was very helpful to me. Even the Telegram for like ESAO developer or Antelope developers is I wouldn't say it was as helpful as the Discord was. And there's also not a ton of people in there. Like it's helpful, and it's also at the same time, I get it. Yeah, it's stressful. You're trying to build on a chain where there's just not that much going on, I guess, in terms of like it's not as easy to grow as it is maybe somewhere else. So it feels stressful. You struggle a lot. It bothers me a little bit, but that's because I got like a chip on my shoulder. I'm just an angry dude sometimes. So no one did anything wrong to me. You know, the community's been really helpful. People have helped me out a lot in terms of answering my questions. And as far as like information from other developers, I almost kind of get it, man. You know, it's like I'm not a gatekeeper. I hate people that are like that. Like they don't want to share info with new people. But at the same time, I also know how hard I worked to like learn the stuff I learned. I'm not just going to give it away for nothing. So my type of thing normally is like, if you show that you're at least trying, I'm more than happy to answer any question you have. And I think most people are like that.
Yeah. Yeah, I think from my perspective, now I'm probably from the other side of the gate. I'm on the inside of these conversations and everything. From my point of view, what I see is that everyone that is showing that they are trying to do something, just as you say, they are met by respect and help and everything. But people that constantly come and ask others to tell them what to do instead of trying to learn together and share knowledge, those people can be turned out or ignored and things like that, I guess.
It's like if you come into my channel and you say, hey man, I'm trying to figure out how to react to a transfer inside of my contract, and I realized that I can't access somebody else's asset without their permission. Could you tell me how to do X, Y, and Z to handle that? That's a question I'm more than happy to answer. If you come to me and you say, how to code smart contract, bro.
Yeah.
It's like, really, man, you didn't even go on Google and type it in yet? Like, you want me to spoon feed you?
Yeah.
Try something and ask me a question once you start, you know?
Yeah. I think that's probably fair. I mean, especially when it comes to coding, because coding, you need to understand what you are building to reduce risk of doing something wrong or adding some kind of vulnerability in your code. You need to understand what you're doing and understand the blockchain technology. And if you do not understand that, you will make a mistake. And that is the difficult part, I guess. Like, deploying a web app, you're doing something, in worst case you get hacked, you get destroyed, but you can redeploy the website. At least if you have a proper backup and everything, nothing really happens to you. If your smart contract that has a lot of value in it, like we have had the NFT projects being hacked, we have a lot of DeFi projects being hacked on all blockchains and things, that is a way more real risk than a Web2 app. How do you feel like creating tools for users that they can use your service and you build them and the risk associated with that, and how do you manage that?
Well, of course, there's two sides to the coin there, because it's like it feels good to take that risk off of the end user. I know I'm not fully removing risk for them. There's risk involved. I don't want to say it's like risk free, but I'm saying there's that part where it's like, at least I know what I'm doing, so I know that I'm handling it. I can feel a little more comfortable. But then the other side of it is like, yeah, it's, you know, there's people's money at risk here, so it's a little bit. I wouldn't say I like lose sleep at night or anything like that, but it's definitely something that I think about, and I'm always trying to figure out how to get better and make sure there's no security holes or anything like that. Testing things on testnet, and it would be good if you know, to have other people like look at code and things like that, but it's not. I don't have like a team or thousands of dollars to be audited or anything. So
yeah, auditing is not cheap.
Yeah, but I think if you know what you're doing, for the most part, it's like most of the risks, I wouldn't say most of them, but the biggest risks on Wax specifically would just be, they're very basic checks. Like people reacting to a token transfer and not making sure that it's not like a chain notification that didn't actually come from the right contract or whatever, and things like that, which is something that I've seen recently, actually. People getting a wax token and then automatically sending something back because they didn't make sure that ESIO token was the original contract or whatever.
Yeah.
Things like that. So as long as you follow some pretty standard practices for the most part, and use common sense.
Yeah, and that's a good point where you build a contract to make sure that if you accept tokens, you actually make sure you accept the right token. That has been a problem on EOS for many years, and on Wax, I know that in the past there has been a few accounts which are probably automated that create that token of different. When a project is big, they create that token and they try to send that and see if they can take advantage of a badly written contract in some way, and that is being done on many blockchains, not just Wax.
Yeah, it's I get wax tokens like that in my account sometimes in my contracts. Nothing happens; they just sit there. But I've seen other contracts react to it and send something back. So it's kind of scary that there are people out there building stuff that don't even know. Like it's an extremely basic, like very basic check if you have any idea like what you're doing. So yeah, I would highly suggest people learn that stuff before they deploy contracts.
Yeah, I think that's good, and like you have been learning this, and you have been struggling with different things, and went to the docs, learned, and asked questions, and formulate them properly, get response on everything. So I think it's healthy for someone that is new or wanting to learn this and wanting to get into coding or wanting to build smart contracts or projects on the Wax blockchain to get some of these struggles or ideas and whatever. When it comes to waxdao, so right now you're focusing on revamping the front user interface and using React there and everything. What's the plan when that is done? What's the next step? What are you gonna do after that?
Yeah, I'm also kind of adding a couple of features to the Super Blender right now because there's just a couple extra things people have asked for. It's never like one single thing. I'm not only doing the UI. I would say the next big thing though is version 2 of the NFT farms, because there have been a lot of things that people have wanted from the beginning, like dynamic staking values for different templates. So you could have a farm where like one NFT has a staking power of 20%, 2x or whatever, and another NFT has 5x. That's not currently available. So if you wanted to do that right now, you have to create 2 different farms, which is they're only $10 anyway, so it's not like it's still way cheaper than the other alternatives. But in version 2, I'm gonna really structure things a lot better. I'll have a lot more features, and just the way the data is going to be structured for me is going to be so much better, and it's going to allow me to make a better user experience on the front end.
Yeah, that's cool. And Super Blend, you have mentioned that twice, and we never really went into what is that.
So you know how Nifty Blocks does the super blends or whatever? It's well, I guess you're not asking me for you're asking for the audience, but basically, yeah, it allows you. The way that I describe it is, I guess, like traditionally, if you were going to buy an NFT, imagine like on the aftermarket, you can either trade someone an NFT for another NFT, or you can offer them some wax for their NFT, or you can offer your NFT for some wax. But regardless, it's not complex at all. It's like 1 or 2 assets for another 1 asset. And it's very specific. It's a specific asset that's aimed at a specific asset and a specific person, and then they swap with each other. A blend is like, you can make it way more complex than that. So you can take a basket of assets. You can be like, I've got this pre-minted pool here with like a bunch of NFTs in it, and I've got this pack, and I've got 5 wax tokens, and I've got 2.5 Aether tokens and 5 of these other tokens, and I'm willing to trade that to anybody out there who sends in I don't know, like 2 of this NFT and 1 of this NFT and some other NFT that has this attribute and 5 wax tokens. And you can just get crazy complex, and you can make it like a public offer. and it can be available more than once. Like if you have enough to cover that trade multiple times, you could set it up so that like people can do this over and over again. So they call it a blender, but at the end of the day, it's just a fancy name for an advanced trading system. And yeah, that's basically it.
So for me, the blend on NFT blocks is mainly for collections to say, hey, we have released this NFT, now we're releasing this new NFT. You can take the old ones. If you have 5 of them, you can combine them, burn them, and you get the new one. Or you can combine from different collections. Hey, we have a collaboration with our collection and this other collection, and you can blend these 3 from that one, and you can get one of our new collab NFTs. That's mainly how the blend function is presented outwards. But what you are talking about is some kind of flexible trading system for tokens and NFTs.
Absolutely. Yeah, that's true. That's pretty much how it's utilized right now, the way that you said. And that's also how it is on waxdao, but I'm going to be I don't want to like give away my whole thing before I do it, but I'm kind of like making a second version of it, I guess, where it's like kind of the same code but a little bit different, and it's going to be like a secondary market type of deal where people can actually make offers aimed at specific people with all this complex stuff, and then the person will be able to either like accept the offer or make a counter offer for less, and there will be like a secondary market where you'll be able to filter by like what assets are in a certain collection. You could be like, all right, I have this one NFT. I want to find out if there's any blends out there that support this one. And yeah, it's going to be interesting. So that's like the next step with that for me.
Yeah, that's cool. And if anyone wanna find out, the waxdao.io is linked below. You have your YouTube channel is linked below, where you have tutorials of your tools that you're building, how they work, and how people can interact with them. And you are continuing working on this. Is this something you do full time?
Yeah, this is my 24 hours a day. So I wake up at like 4 in the morning and I'm working at midnight. This is all I do.
So like I'm building a tax tool for the Wax blockchain, and that's pretty much what I'm doing as well. I'm from early morning to late evening, and I keep coding to try to figure this out because it's very complex.
Yeah, it's so much, man. And it's like every time you start to do something, you think of something else, and it's hard to force yourself to take breaks too. Like I've been getting up in the morning. I'll ride my bike for 30 minutes before I do anything that day, and then at the end of the night, I also do a lift and do a bike ride before bed. It's like it's really hard to get myself to stop and like take care of my physical and mental health sometimes. But
do you feel like having these routines with your, I guess it's a stationary bike, or are you outside doing it?
Outside.
Nice. So you actually get out. That's good. Do you feel like that helps a lot with the mental state and keeping the head fresh?
Yeah, 100%. It's like, it sucks like when you're in the middle of something like coding and you like just want to do it and you got to force yourself to stop, but it's worth it because like if you don't have control of your mental and physical health, it's like first of all, like what's the point? But even if it's not for the ideological argument there, it's also like you're not going to think straight. You're not going to think straight if your head's all messed up and your body's all messed up. You got to be like on point. It helps me a lot. It's like the time you take out of the day to do that stuff pays for itself back in the form of efficiency throughout the rest of the day, if that makes sense.
Yeah, it does. And I can only agree. I go to the gym daily for the last, 97 days. I've been at the gym lifting heavy every day. I have an app to track it. And actually after this, it's 9 p.m. This is a recorded. It's going to be posted later. I'm going to go to the gym. It's open until 11 p.m. So I will go there and I will do some squats and deadlifts today. And that really helps with the head. That's for sure. Yeah.
My gym's in my living room.
Nice.
I got a squat rack and I don't know if you know. Have you heard of Iron Master? It's like a modular system, but they have these adjustable dumbbells and a cable tower, and everything connects to the bench. but it's not like one of those gimmicky ones. It's actually like pretty solid. Highly recommended.
Nice.
Yeah, I miss like lifting heavy though because I pulled something in my core. I'm also on a cut right now, but I pulled something in my core like a few years ago. It's like my oblique or serratus or something. I can't deadlift. I pretty much get injured every time I do anything back related because any pulling movement that like stretches out my core there, it just aggravates it. So it sucks. But you know, I make do.
Yeah, exactly. You make do with what's possible. So that's awesome, man. Thanks for coming on and for sharing what you're doing and what you're working on and what's happening. And is there anything any last thing that you feel like you wanna make sure everyone gets information on, or something you wanna share?
No. Thank you for having me on, and also, yeah, no, not really. I mean, pretty much everything's at the website. If anybody has any questions, just go there or join the Telegram channel. It's linked on the website right at the bottom. Yeah, that's it. I don't like to leave off making promises or anything like that. I'm not a big fan of that stuff. So I'm just going to keep building, and you guys will see whatever I create when I create it.
Yeah, that's awesome. That's all we need, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So thanks everyone for watching today. Meet you again next week. When you see this, I'm on my way to Amsterdam for the NFT Blocks event. So this is pre-recorded for that. Thank you all.